Good morning and welcome to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Our focus this morning is on positive youth who are making a difference in the communities where they live. Today, we'll meet two outstanding young men and find out more about the organizations that's affiliated with them that showcases their gifts of academics, community spirit, and involvement. My first guest is Ryan Graham. He's an 18-year-old that's an educational coordinator and board member of Teens Grow Greens, which is a nonprofit organization that teaches kids personal responsibility, healthy living, leadership, and entrepreneurship. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Thank you for being here, Ryan.
No problem.
And Teens Grow Greens was actually founded by Mr. Charlie Eline, who was unable to join us today. So you are truly representing the organization on every level. Tell us more about Teens Grow Greens and what it is that you do.
So it's exactly like what you said. So we take inner city youth primarily, and we go through 3 units with them: healthy living, leadership, and entrepreneurship, and we provide them with those firsthand experiences. So in the healthy living unit, teens learn about how food can impact their mind, body, and spirit. In the leadership unit, the teens will mentor elementary school students and teach them the value of community. And then finally, in the entrepreneurship unit, which is my favorite, the teens will create a product and sell it.
Okay, and so you were once a part of this internship, which lasts for 9 months?
Yes.
Okay, so obviously you're into the entrepreneurial aspect of things. So what did you love most about being a part of this program?
I think the thing that I love most about Teens Grow Greens is how much it changed me. If you ask anybody else about me, they'll tell you that I was like very shy and quiet, you know, way before I joined Teens Grow Greens. And I think that Teens Grow Greens was really helpful in breaking me out of that shell.
Okay, and you were 16 at the time.
Yeah.
And so here we are 2 years later, and you've taken on a whole nother role, and you are a leader for the young people who are part of this program. So what are some of the stipulations for young people to be a part of this? How do they qualify?
Okay, so we accept anybody who is from 15 to 18, freshman to senior in high school. We primarily work with inner city youth because we realize that those are the people who don't get the most support. However, we do consider everybody who applies, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, and so right now you guys are in the interview process of finding the next group of teens who will spend 9 months as a part of Teens Grow Greens.
Yes.
And this is interesting for you because you sit in on that interview process. What is it you look for the young people who want to be a part of this?
The most important thing, I think, is people's willingness to try something new and step outside of their comfort zone. So I really look for their willingness to learn and obviously how well they can work with others. I did do interviews last year as well, except last year it was only sort of me interviewing, so like I really was the person that said, okay, yes, you should be hired.
The buck stopped with you, pretty much. But
so last year we only hired about 12 people. This year we're hiring 22. So, and we also have 54 applications this year. So, me and the other education coordinator are doing the interview process this year. Yeah,
and so that is a sign that this program is growing and that more young people are aware of it and want to be a part of it, right?
Yeah, because I think last year we only had like 20 applications.
Oh, that's awesome. I love to hear that. So this is a good time for you to tell us more about your background. Of course, we've mentioned that you are on the board for Teens Grow Greens. I should mention the youngest member on the board. But tell us about, you know, where you went to high school, your future plans, all the things that Ryan dreams of making happen.
Okay, so I go to high school at Carmen High School of Science and Technology, the Northwest campus, which is on 72nd and Silver Spring. And I have been going there since it first opened on the north side. And how they did it is it only went up to 9th grade when they opened. So each year they add on a year. So this year is the first year that we're like an official high school. So we have like all, you know, 9th and 12th.
All the grades, and you are a senior.
Yeah.
Wow. So that worked out nicely.
Right. First graduating one.
Oh, cool.
I want to go to college to be, I want to major in computer science and minor in business administration. My goal is to be an app developer. And then with that, I want my first project to be giving back to local community efforts like Teens Grow Greens.
Oh wow, that just makes me so proud. And I get excited for young people like yourself because not all young people realize that the sky is the limit and that they really ultimately really determine their altitude. A lot of kids think that, you know, they have no choice and that what they see around them is it. But you do realize that, you know, you can find your niche and make money doing that and really enjoy all that life has to offer. Where do you think you found that, knowing that you could be anything you wanted to be?
Okay.
You think it came from maybe like your grandmother, your mom?
I think it came from where I am. I'm obviously a black male in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Arguably the worst city in America for African American males to grow up in. And just in my zip code alone, more than half of the males here are, you know, incarcerated.
And that zip code is 53206. Yeah.
Giving, you know, that huge stereotype. And I think for me, it was sort of like a personal realization that I didn't have to go through that and that I could be more than that. And I just found my passion with Teens Grow Greens, and that's taking me out.
Oh, you make me so proud, and it's also impressive. With that said, U.S. Cellular celebrates the future of good by recognizing youth across the country like yourself, and most recently, you were recognized as a young humanitarian that's doing extraordinary things. So, coming along with that recognition, U.S. Cellular allowed you and your family to fly to New York City to actually ring the closing bell on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. You have to tell me about that experience.
Yeah, it was amazing. I got there on the 20th, and I was booked for the
of December.
Of December, and I was booked for the 21st and 22nd with interviews and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
So on the 20th, we did like everything possible with sightseeing, World Trade Center, all the malls, Times Square, Central Park, all of that. On the 22nd, which was the last day, we went to the Stock Exchange. We rang the bell, and I got the chance to hit the gavel. So the closing gavel, I hit that.
That's awesome. And you got that on video, right? Because you know that doesn't happen every day.
Yeah, I was kind of nervous though, because they said like however many million people watch it like every day. So they made it was nerve-wracking.
So help me understand like the whole concept behind the gavel and the ringing of the bell for those of us who know it happens, don't quite understand why.
I'm not quite sure I understand why either. I know that the stock exchange opens and closes every day. So before it closes, there is a bell to signify that it's closing, and the bell goes off about 15 seconds before the clock changes. And then when the clock changes, that's when you hit the gavel to solidify that.
Okay, so if you didn't learn nothing else, you understood the processing and how it had to be done right. I think it's awesome. And what U.S. Cellular is doing, the wireless carrier contributed $45,000 to support youth initiatives in select cities for all the great things that different young people like yourself are doing. And I would encourage our viewers to go to thefutureofgood.com to find out more about that. But Mr. Eline, who I did mention is the founder and also the director of Teens Grow Greens, he took some time out, and this was all videotaped, to kind of give you some good news in regards to this whole U.S. Cellular thing, right? Let's take a look at that video.
Growing up, we don't read a lot about, you know, successful black people in our community, and I think that it subconsciously stops people from dreaming too high. People are afraid of change and trying different things out, and it's your job to, you know, push them to do better. So I work as a educational coordinator at Teens Grow Greens. So what I do is I plan curriculum and I teach the curriculum to teenagers around healthy living, leadership, and entrepreneurship. I'm also on the board.
I think Ryan is one of the most responsible, forget about teens, but one of the most responsible people that I've ever met. My name is Charlie Eline, and I am the director at Teens Grow Greens. It is a 9-month paid internship, which gives skill-building employment to teenagers. A big part of the teens being here is that they want to impact not only themselves, but other people in the community. What's really special about Ryan is that he had that transformation. He found his empowerment, but he came back to Teens Grow Greens to guide other teenagers to find their voice and their empowerment. And that's the true definition of a leader.
When I do graduate college, I would like to do something with communities and something to the extent of Teens Grow Greens.
Will you read something for me?
Sure. Dear Ryan, we are so inspired by your commitment and dedication to the Teens Grow Greens organization that we have donated $4,000 to it on your behalf to help you continue these efforts. Thank you for being a part of the future of good. Sincerely, the U.S. Cellular team.
Oh. Actually, Ryan, I have a letter for you right here.
What?
Dear Ryan, all of us at U.S. Cellular have heard about your amazing contributions to the Teens Grow Greens organization and your ongoing commitment to bettering the lives of those around you. In honor of your dedication, U.S. Cellular worked with Teens Grow Greens to establish a scholarship fund in your name, the Ryan Graham Scholarship for Excellence.
Are you serious?
We are also excited to announce that you will be the first recipient of that scholarship, and you will receive a grant to help continue your efforts.
Oh my gosh.
You truly are the future of good, and we are very excited for what your future holds. Sincerely, the U.S. Cellular team.
You're gonna make me cry. I didn't know you was a big crybaby. You're on the right track, isn't that?
So looking back at it, it's like you got teary-eyed. That was your grandma that was in the video, teary-eyed as well. I was watching. It was like, oh my God, chill bumps, cry. Because how does it make you feel that someone is willing to invest in your future and not only give you a scholarship, but give you a scholarship that will continue on in your name?
I know.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I couldn't believe what I was hearing because I've watched other Future of Good, videos, and I've only seen or recall seeing up to the donation that they give for the actual charity that the youth are involved in. So when they came up to me and when Charlie read the letter to me, I was just. I don't know. It was just like, who gets that opportunity?
Absolutely.
And it's so amazing because I never really signed up for this with the whole U.S. Cellular thing. I was nominated for it by Charlie. So it wasn't something that, I wasn't really asking for it. And so it was just surprising that people actually recognize my efforts and actually appreciate it and wants to support me with that.
Yeah, well, you definitely deserve it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
As we wrap up, I just really wanted to also let our viewers at home know that the teenagers who work with Teens Grow Greens, you also partner with Outpost Natural Foods and helping growing seedlings and things of that nature. So this is really giving young people an idea to understand how businesses like Outpost run, especially when it comes to organic and natural foods, right?
Yeah. We shop a lot at Outposts when we do go out. So we have field trips every Friday in the summer and stuff like that. And on our way back, we stop at Outposts for healthy food, organic food, obviously.
Yeah.
Teens Grow Greens. And
hashtag.
And then one of our first farmers markets that we do is actually at the Outpost. So I know when I was in the internship, that was the first place I went. And we have a deal with them, so they get the portion of the vegetable starch that we sell, and they let us keep the other portion. So it's a really nice deal that they have. Obviously, it's a lot of customers by the Outpost. It's just a really nice experience for people to get used to talking to other people. And it's the introductory farmers market, so it only gets bigger after that, right?
All right. No, I really am impressed with you, and obviously a lot of other people are as well, and that's why I wanted to have you here today, just to let people see that there are young people who are thriving and striving and will definitely make a difference tomorrow. So all the best to you and continued success.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming by. Ryan Graham is an education coordinator and the youngest board member of Teens Grow Greens. For more information, you can visit their website at teensgrowgreens.org. When we return to Our Issues Milwaukee, we'll continue our focus on positive organizations that's goals are to lead today's youth in the right direction. We'll meet representatives from West Care, Wisconsin right after this.